Okay. I said I would make a video in April, so here's the video from April. My hair's all messed up, isn't it? Anyway, we went and saw Super Mario Galaxy, and that was a lot of fun. I know that there's I've seen a lot of reviews online or YouTube or whatever where people are saying there's no story, there's a little bit too much of the I guess nostalgia stuff, and I think there's a truth to that. Like, the movie is not Citizen Kane. It's pretty basic, although I do think there were some things going on with it. Not that you would need there to be, but it is a Super Mario Brothers movie. You are looking for a lot of that nostalgia stuff, and in fact, in some ways, I don't think it did enough. At least for me. I'm not denying that this movie could have done a lot more, but it was fun, and for what it was, I think it got the job done. Let's see. As far as those story elements or whatever that it maybe should have, I guess, leaned into, but I don't know. There was kind of a family thing going on, definitely with Princess Peach and Rosalina being sisters. Not something in the games as far as I remember. And Bowser and Bowser Jr. I think the Bowser character had probably the most, almost going into some sort of an arc, and it might have had a little bit more to it if Bowser would have confronted Mario on that bridge when they did the Super Mario Brothers one where he takes the axe and chops off the drawbridge, the chain to the drawbridge. That I think would have given a little more, I guess, validity to the family thing or whatever. And I don't know really what to do with the Princess Peach and Rosalina thing. It's kind of there. It's a motivation for her. But other than that, the movie is kind of just stuff happens. And again, it's almost like it's a platform for Super Mario Brothers celebration nostalgia, or celebrating aspects of the games that we can all laugh at or point at. And that's really all it does. For example, Yoshi was like this big hint or reveal at the end of the last movie. He's in this movie. He's there. We've got Wart and Birdo and Mauser and was it Cloblip? No Triclide though. They're in the casino. I don't really get why she wasn't asleep though, because aren't they subcon? Although Shy Guys and Birdo are all in the regular games now, so maybe you don't have to be asleep. Very odd. But it was still cool. I mean, we haven't heard about Wart in how many decades? Like, Wart's long ago. Where I think it could have done a little bit more was with the music. There's little tiny, like, hints and stingers of Super Mario Brothers music in there, but there were times where I think it would have been like just blast the music, like a rendition of it, or do the symphony of it, because you can see like there are symphony orchestras out there that do their Super Mario Brothers or video game music, and you can see those are pretty cool and popular. So it doesn't have to be right from the game, but it would have, I think, enhanced some of those nostalgia moments, like when we had Baby Mario and Yoshi. Play that level 1 song from Yoshi's Island. Just go for it, you know, like that would have been fun. Things like that. There's Fox McCloud, which kind of, I guess, some people knew about it, I guess, but I didn't know about it. I was like, oh, that's Star Fox. Holy crap. And they even say do a barrel roll and all that stuff. Pretty cool. Yeah. I mean, it's Fox McCloud. They know their audience. So, all that said, what is there more to say about this movie? It was fun. It's a fun movie. It's not, you're not going to take a lot home with you, but while you're there, you're going to enjoy your Coke and popcorn and Super Mario Brothers. I think the first movie was basically the same thing, so I don't know. So yeah, and I will I buy it on Blu-ray? I don't know, maybe. I never bought the first one. I don't even know where it's streaming. I think, is it on HBO? I don't know. Maybe I should watch it again. But this is like an event thing. You go to the movies to see this. That's it. You don't need to write an essay about the Super Mario Brothers movie. I really don't think so. But was it money well spent in the theater? Well, yeah. I mean, I think that for me it was. I grew up playing Super Mario Brothers. I've been, through all that stuff. So I'm gonna enjoy it. If someone didn't know who the Super Mario Brothers were or they didn't care, then don't go. But yeah, for what there's been in the movie theater recently, this might have been the most fun I've had. And for that, it's fine. The kids were sleeping. They thought it was boring. So, okay. What else? I watched Disney Plus, or not Disney Plus, Hulu has a Malcolm in the Middle reunion, and I recently watched that. That was a lot of fun. Malcolm in the Middle was never like one of those sitcoms that I was like in love with or anything, but it was always on in the background, and you kind of know all the characters, and that's the premise is they do well with it. Like something that I kind of thought about after watching this was the idea of Malcolm in the Middle was he was the middle kid. He was kind of neurotic about, I guess, insecurity and being too smart, or he thinks he's too smart. And so the world and the show is based around that dynamic. So he's very, like everyone's kind of these exaggerated versions of the flaws that he sees in others. And in doing so, the show also really brings out his flaws. So everybody are these like kind of cartoonish flaws, and not always like in bad ways. Sometimes they're all fun, they're good, and you can eat. And it never really, it doesn't make villains out of them. You know what I mean? It's nothing like that. It's kind of fun. Like I feel like that show Shameless would be like an evil version of Malcolm in the Middle, because everyone's just this like no good part of their whatever. Whereas Malcolm in the Middle, it's almost like all of these like intricacies or neurotic behaviors are all kind of cartoonish, but playful and fun and whatever. But this is when they're adults, and shouldn't, I guess that's, to me, like those things kind of go away as you grow up, right? Like you start seeing people as people, and you don't see them as their character or flaws. And you know, like your parents, like you grew up and you got that, like look at how Lois and Hal is in the show compared to what Malcolm thinks of them. Eventually you start to sympathize with your parents and you start to understand, and they become people instead of these like things that you are sort of having all these expectations for. So I would think they would kind of lean into that with the show, but they didn't. It gets even more exaggerated. But I think that's because the show knows its strength, right? Like it knows that's the fun part of this show, is how cartoonish it is. So it kind of goes into that. But it's fun. Like all of the characters come back. I was trying to think of, like, again, I'm not like some guy that knows every single little bit about Malcolm in the Middle, but I remember almost all those characters, and I think they're all back. There was the only one I can think of just off the top of my head was that girl. It was like his girlfriend, and she was on Lost after that. I didn't see her in that, but almost everybody else was in there, including that weird. Remember, the older brother worked at a ranch. That Otto guy, whatever. He's not in it, but his wife is in it. Anyway, it gets pretty into the characters, and they all get their little moments. And Malcolm's daughter is just like him, and that's kind of cute. And there's a dedication to Hal at the very end of it that's really like touching. Like it's kind of cool that the show took the time to celebrate Hal in that way. Now I don't know if that's because since that, after Breaking Bad, I forget the actor's name, he became really big stuff, right? Like Breaking Bad put him on the map. In fact, there was that kind of comedic sketch where he wakes up after Breaking Bad and he's in bed with Lois and he's dreaming that he was Heisenberg, right? So maybe there's something to do with that, but either way, he's probably the biggest actor out of that entire cast. So I think they kind of dedicated that to him, maybe just out of necessity. But I think his character warrants it. The character of Hal is an interesting one. He was always this kind of goofy dad, but all of the things they point out, you can kind of reflect on. And yeah, I think that was accurate. The brothers are all there. The Dewey character's barely in it. He's like, I don't know what's going on with that. Maybe he didn't want to be on the show or something, or maybe he didn't. There's something else going on in his life, but he has a very, very minimal presence where he's just on the story is he's in Europe or something, and he's basically they're calling him on Skype or Teams or whatever the heck they're using. I don't know. But other than that, they're all there, and it's really cool. Like it was kind of fun to revisit them, and I had a lot of fun. I just watched. There's like 4 episodes. I just watched them back to back, and it was a good time. So, yep. I guess that's it for now. We'll see what's coming up in May. I think it's The Mandalorian, right? We'll see how that goes. Bye.